This episode of Play the Bay is brought to you by betonline.ag. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. BetOnline has you covered for all news, scores, and odds. It's the best way to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. Head to the website betonline.ag or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. And now, Play the Bay.
From Channelside Drive, where Lord Stanley Cup rests.
Time ticks down, the Lightning win the Stanley Cup!
Travel across the bridge to St. Pete to find our American League champs.
And the Tampa Bay Rays have just won the American League pennant.
And get ready to fire the cannons.
Lob pass toward the end zone. Gronkowski, he makes the catch. Touchdown Tampa Bay. What a great grab by Gronk.
Because it's time for another episode of Play the Bay. Play the Bay.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Play the Bay presented by Believe Podcast Network and Three Daughters Brewing. Guys, how are you today? Evan, I see that you're grooving.
Happy 420, everybody.
Yeah, we know how Evan's celebrating.
Yeah, it's not with that IPA, I bet.
No, it's the Florida Orange IPA from Three Daughters, our
that
sponsor.
one is sneaky good.
And
Double
Chip
hook.
is.
The deep. I'm in like swimwear, dude. I'm going double deep tonight.
Have you had that one before? Because I don't think you have. Okay,
No.
so that one's a high percentage of alcohol.
According to the nice little label on here, 8.8.
Okay.
That is
yeah.
aggressive.
I
Yes.
mean, we'll get
So I
through the
don't-
shoe.
I don't know if you're ready for that one yet there, Chip.
Might be a shirtless finish, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
Okay.
I mean, I was going to wear my captain's apparel and really throw everybody off, but
Well, that
I
was
figured
my
you could take that thing and take that off my chest there.
That was my idea, so it's all good. I mean, I can do one button, but then my hamburger meat comes out. I don't think everybody's ready for that yet. So,
Well, the good thing is, dressing in a captain's outfit, you're a little more equipped to talk about our sponsorship that we just gained, but I'll take it.
you
I
can
know
take
I
it.
can do it. So,
Yes, you can take it.
Kaylee, last show we talked about getting together, getting some fishing going. What are you thinking? We're one step closer.
I feel like we are. Yeah.
I think we're working in the right direction.
We're getting there. Like we might be
Yep.
ready by like summer, like Florida summer, you know?
I think so, and that could be the best time. But
Mhm.
the good thing is Monster Bass, this is a fun, affordable way to get the best new baits in the fishing industry and also get it delivered to your door every month. You don't have to just study the ponds, lakes, oceans, inlets, rivers, whatever you're fishing. Monster Bass will take care of that, and it's basically like having your own personal fishing guide. It'll change the way you look at fishing overall. They're quickly becoming one of the number one fishing brands in America. They have the best baits, they have the best brands, and they deliver it to your door. You want to catch bigger bass, bigger sharks, bigger marlin, whatever it is, head over to Monster Bass and use the code TAMPA10 to get $10 off your first box. Visit monsterbass.com.
We want to let everybody know that we have to say these promos because that's what makes this show keep going. So I know everybody's here to get all the content. We have to get those out of the way. We love saying them. We want you to go and use those promos, but we have to say those first offhand. That way we can get into the good stuff. So thank you everybody for joining us in the comments. Happy 420 to all of you. Spark it up, light it up, chew it up, do whatever you got to do.
Inhale, exhale.
Boom. Sometimes you got to do more inhaling than exhaling, but let's have a great, awesome show.
Someone said they did. Richard signed up for Monster Bass. I love
Our boy, Dick McGinley.
Yes.
Dick Mountain. It's Dick McGinley now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I think the ad read there, I need to clear up. Obviously, you can use bass fishing lures to catch the sharks, other fish, and other waters. So those will be the ones coming to you. Monsterbass.com.
Monster
Love
Bass.
that.
Let's do
Love
it.
Love that.
All right.
Do you guys want to talk Tampa Bay Rays? Evan, you look like the most ready person.
I am.
right now.
No, this weekend has been nothing but glorious Rays winning, and I put this in the title header that the Rays keep rolling like they're rolling blunts on 420 because they are rolling. They won 4 straight. They took the first game of the series last night from the Royals. They swept the bitch ass Yankees this past weekend. Nothing gets me more fired up than sweeping that god awful team and fan base in New York, which they did. And it was so bad they made Jay Bruce quit. He quit before the season even the series even started. He retired because the Yankees suck so much. The fans were throwing out
baseballs.
Threw baseballs out in the center field. Keep it classy, New York, by the way. Keep it classy. Yeah, you guys are the greatest fan base in the world. Keep it classy there, you chumps. So, yes, this weekend makes me happy because the Rays and all you Rays fans that were all – oh my God.
They're going crazy.
We're panicking. We're panicking. It's like we're not even out of April yet. They're going to get going. They got guys coming back from injuries. They got guys coming up making a difference. So I hear chirping. That's how I hear crickets. That's all I hear. And those people just panicking right now because, the stuff is coming together. We've got yes, STLR Aiden. Yes. The phlegm dog, guys are coming up and making a difference. Brent Honeywell is back up in the rotation again. So all is well. Let's get let's do this. Let's raise up, people. Spark it up, raise up. Let's go.
I need some more Mahia in my life. Let's get Zanino out of there. Give me some more Francisco. What do you think about that?
Give me some Mahia, bro. Come
Give
on.
me Mahia.
Give me some of that. See, finally, I hope this guy keeps rolling because now the Rays maybe have found a catcher, a young catcher,
25,
that could really fill in that void. And he's hitting the ball well, which Zunino, Zunino has his hits once in a while, but of course that's once in a while, which is not that many. So, yeah, I like the way guys that you wouldn't expect to be stepping up or just hitting and jiving and fielding and hitting and all this good stuff, man. I'm trying to channel my inner McConaughey. Okay, I'm trying to do my best.
You're doing good.
I'm all in on Matthew McConaughey. I've never been all in on a person or a celebrity as much as I'm all in on Matthew McConaughey, especially
the future governor of Texas. By the way,
let's go.
Rumor has it. That's right.
All right. That's right.
I'm here for it. But yeah, I think we kind of touched on. The thing I noticed about the Rays the most, especially in their series against the Yankees, is we kind of touched on how they've just felt very flat or just kind of uninspired compared to what we've seen over the past couple years. Yes. And I think that this was the biggest change of pace. This is when we really, I saw so much confidence, so much kind of swag coming from them. And just really, it just seemed like they were going to kind of tie up all the loose ends, which is something that we've, seen them kind of give away at the start of the season. They've really had a tough time closing out games, even though they've started really well. But, they look way more confident, way more in tune with what their game plan is. And now the Yankees are off to the worst start that they've had since 90.
Fantastic.
God! I hate them so much. So much. And I got into a couple Twitter feuds this past weekend.
That doesn't sound anything like you.
No, not at all. With Yankees fans, I said you guys can tout all your 27 championships all you want, but when my team or your team was created over 100+ years ago, yeah, you should have multiple championships because if you didn't, when you're playing the same 16 teams for God knows how many years before the league expanded, there'd be a problem. So, yeah, take your old championships and stick them up your rear end, okay? That's what I got to say to you guys in New York town. Mets fans are okay. Yankees fans, not so much.
Well,
that's a good take.
I got to tell you.
That's the clip of the week.
I love that.
Hey, we saw Rich Hill and we saw Waka, some of the guys, obviously, that are coming over. First game of the series against the Yankees. Waka was able to go 6 innings. Which is good. And like we've all discussed here, those are guys that were prime pitchers a couple of years ago, either coming off injuries, and those guys, I think the first night, Waka against the Yankees ended up, staying in, like we said, 6 innings, 93 pitches. So he shows that he can go deep into a game and have a good game pitched. And the Rays need that. They need everyone in behind glass now to get in and pick up those innings that you have, obviously, from Snell and Morton that are gone now. So I think if the veterans and those guys can stick together, plus Cash has been exactly as good as we need them to be on shuffling pitchers, knowing when to bring someone out, using pitchers in the start for maybe an inning, bringing somebody else in. So keep moving and rotating around until you find those right tandems and those right pairings, and I think we'll end up doing really well.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Chip. I mean, the veterans that we brought in, they look shaky at first, but now they've kind of settled into the groove of being in that rotation. Now, the biggest question I have is going forward, I'm going to ask you to, is now the Yankees are basically our bitches. We smacked them so much, they've bent over, we smacked them. They're our children now. They can call us daddy. But we've beaten them so far, but like when it comes to other teams, we seem to not play so well. So, they did win last night against the Royals. Going forward, can the Rays, continue to play like they have been, or is it just like, we can only play good against the Yankees?
I think consistency, is going to be key. And like we said, pitching depth, we have a lot of relievers right now that are hurt. So we're missing a lot of key ingredients, especially in pitching. But Joey Wendell's knocking the cover off the ball.
Yep.
He's been hot the past several games. As long as he continues to produce, I think the rest of the lineup will catch up. And everybody's still there. Meadows is still having a good start, and Rosarena. There's still a lot of other guys are still having a good start. Just Wendell's on fire right now.
The big bopper. We do have a question from the comment section from the mouth of that is Rays fan Gio, who's probably one of the biggest Rays fans out there in the Twitterverse. Who is going to get called up first? Is it going to be Luis Patino or Wander Franco? That's an interesting question because obviously they're both different positions. Wander Franco is a shortstop. Patino he's a pitcher. So, I would say
the pitcher probably.
Yeah, I would say Patino first because he is a pitcher. Probably. Yeah, because the Rays, they haven't, the injury bug hits everybody, especially in the pitching rotation. And Willie Adames has played decent throughout the season so far. His job is not in jeopardy just yet. So as everybody wants to see Wander Franco come up because he's the number one prospect in all of baseball, and everybody's been waiting for him to come up. The Rays are going to take their time bringing him up. Now, that's not to say they won't bring him up maybe later in the season when it gets past after the All-Star break or maybe closer to the playoffs if the Rays get there. But you're going to probably see Luis Patino probably before Wander Franco coming up. So that's a great question, Rays fan Gio. Make sure you share our show.
Love that. Love a question. But yeah, I agree. I agree with what Chip said. I think, they've gotten off to really good starts. They just haven't been able to finish them off, which, like I said, we've seen them do against the Yankees. But, regardless of not looking great at the plate, they're still able to make plays. And I think that's the important part is they're able to capitalize off of mistakes on the other team. Obviously, we saw Wendell and Kiermaier, really have some luck on a pop-up and really be able to take advantage of that and use it to the Rays' advantage. And I think as long as they're able to make plays, regardless of, what they're doing at the plate, what's going on, I think they're going to be able to capitalize on these games and really get things rolling. I think they just needed a little bit of momentum. I think they needed a little bit of confidence that they could close out games because they started off, in a rough spot. And we saw some of those games not go the way that we wanted them to go. So, I think we'll see what happens. But I think what we saw against the Royals, while it wasn't the prettiest, you still get the job done at the end of the day. A win is a win, and it doesn't really matter how it came about. So as long as they can keep doing that, and we'll see tonight in their second game against the Royals. But I think, as long as they can keep doing that, I don't have a lot of worries. And with the injury bug, eventually those guys will get back in the rotation on the roster. So we'll see, a little more stability. But I think, like we said before, it's better to have injuries, at this point in the season than later and heading into the postseason. So, things aren't ready for the panic button yet.
Exactly. I also think too, when they get, a lot of those guys back that are the bullpen guys, it's going to make everybody feel a little bit better. Now the bullpen did well over the weekend against the Yankees. So, that's something of a clear sign. So, everybody, like we said before, the panic button, you should take your hand off that panic button, put it on a nice ice cold Three Daughters Brew, which you can get at Three Daughters Brewing Company or Total Wine or any other beer places to get your frosty brews, and just relax because everything is good so far in Raysland. Okay. We may not be in first, but that's okay. We like being the underdog, and that's what the Rays do. We like being the underdog. All right.
We're tracking Boston. We're right behind them. 2 games. Nothing horrible. And I think also the Rays against the Yanks in that series, I think they were averaging close to 6 runs per game. So, I mean, if you can do that and give a cushion to those starters, those guys like a Waka, a Hill, or anything like that, that's going to give you a little bit of extra edge when you're out there. And the experienced guys are going to be able to protect that lead, get it to our bullpen where we're starting to see a lot of guys pick it up. So
I definitely agree on that, Chip.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the and the one thing I noticed throughout the series against the Yankees, especially the game on Sunday, where you needed that big hit, and you got it from the guy that's been really doing the worst. Where a lot of Rays fans have been calling for his head was, Yoshi Tsutsugo. He had the big hit against Garrett Cole, which obviously made Garrett Cole really mad and made him come out of the game. And then the big popper comes in and basically seals the deal. So when you think guys are pretty much done for the season, you think you want to yank them out. Kevin Cash has that itch in his ear that says, you know what, let's give this guy a chance. And Yoshi came up big throughout that series, especially that game against the Yankees going forward. So hopefully Yoshi can turn it around too, because he's been struggling for a little bit. So hopefully he turns it around and starts getting on a hit streak. So yeah, let's do it.
Hey, Jeffrey Springs, dude, first save as a Ray. He came over from Boston in February of this year. Was a guy that looks sharp and is going to get more time, hopefully, out of the pen. So we'll see what he does. But great little present from Boston. Left him off the roster, and the Rays picked him up.
You're gonna see more of the young guys that are major league ready, especially the pitchers come up. Like we saw Josh Fleming, Brian Honeywell. You're gonna start to see that future generation of the pitchers come up, probably more this year than ever. I would love to see Shane Boz come up, the Wizard of Boz, come up and smoke a bunch of people, going forward. But you know what? It's like the Rays have a great problem is they've got too many pitchers, and that's a great problem they have. And that's why, they have one of the best farm system is they homegrown these guys, especially the pitching part. And when it comes to trade time, they're like, I'll give you a couple pitchers, just give me some prospects or whatever. But that you're going to start seeing that is, there's a reason why they brought in, Rich Hill, and there's a reason why they brought back Chris Archer is just to have those guys in place, just in case, if they go down, well, you know what? We've got guys waiting in the wings to bring up too. So you're going to see probably more of that throughout the season. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
They're up 1-0.
Good. And that's the way you start off 420, baby. You start off 1-0, especially on the Royals. No offense to the Kansas City Royals.
We'll try to keep updates on that game.
Yes, definitely.
But a lot of baseball left for the season, so
plenty.
No need to panic.
No
need to freak out.
No.
We're in a good spot. We're in a good spot right now. So
spark it up, man. It's all good.
I love Evan's dedication.
Evan's so relaxed.
I know. I'm like, we're all so relaxed. I'm drinking this wine and I'm very relaxed, but it's out of a, me, I'm way classy.
Scotch glass it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like you just need like a thick thing of ice and just put it in there.
Yeah, well, it's my temporary setup I've got going on. So there's no wine glasses in this home. So I have this cup.
Okay.
Listen, I drink red wine out of a mason jar. It's not a big deal. So
that's cute. That's like rustic boho type of vibes. I feel like that plays, right?
Oh, I guess. I mean, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, it makes me feel more manly when I drink out of a mason jar than a wine glass. So I guess.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
what did you think of mason jars? You got, you could put syrup in there, moonshine.
Yeah, that's what I think of mason jars, moonshine.
So I think of like barn weddings.
Okay.
Barn weddings.
I think of backcountry. Put a thing of dip in my mouth and have a nice glass of Pinot there in my mason jar.
Wow.
Shoot wild boar.
I think of grandma's canned jams back on the farm down in Georgia. That's what I think.
That's so true because my grandmother makes canned preserves in mason jars. Or I guess jarred preserves are not canned. And they're fantastic and they're a delicacy. So very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Very accurate. Let's talk some Tampa Bay Lightning. So since our last show, they went 1-1 against the Panthers. They beat, the Hurricanes in the first game of that series. So they're playing the Hurricanes tonight again, but both of those wins in the past week came in overtime. And really seeing them struggle against the Panthers in the beginning of the season, as well as the past week. And now looking ahead to their end of the regular season schedule, they're going to face the Panthers again for their back-to-back matchups to close out the regular season. So I guess let's talk about kind of what we've seen over the past week. Are there any concerns that even though they secured those wins, they are overtime wins? It didn't seem to come as easily as we would expect from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And what issues should they fix based on the last week heading into the end of the regular season?
Dude, last night, Killorn changing the pace of the game, huge check, caused a fight. I think it was 2 minutes left or 2:50 somewhere in that ballpark. Before that went into overtime, got the Rays in gear. Everything shifted. They were able to tie it. And I mean, you have to have the Rays. The Lightning.
The Rays twice.
They have to have their backs against the wall, it seems like, and they get things going, or when it becomes more urgent, they get things really moving. So Killorn, huge hit, goes to the box, able to come out, still score, and win in overtime. That's what you needed. You needed some emotion, some raw emotion, and they got it, and they were able to pick up the victory.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh,
please no. Lie to us.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Lie to all of us.
I hope I spelled writing right on the banner thing.
Writing.
I'm a little concernicus about the playoffs. I really do. It just this doesn't seem like the same team of last year. Obviously because of trades and whatever, and people going.
It's not.
Free agency. It's not.
Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I have my concerns, and if Richard, Dick McGinley's still out there, I just from this team going to last year, it's almost like a night and day different team, and I'm not confident going into the playoffs. Like if they go in as a number 2 seed, I have this itch in the back of my neck that's saying they might get swept in the first round like they did 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they might lose.
Now, what gives you this inkling?
See, thank you, Richard. Thank you. He's worried too.
Hey, I'm not saying
you're wrong. I'm just curious to know what you're worried specifically.
Exactly. Tell me why.
I think it's the way they've been playing. It's just not it doesn't look like Lightning hockey to me.
I can agree.
Okay. It doesn't look like the Lightning hockey we saw last year. It just seems almost like the middle of the road mediocre Lightning hockey. And that's not good. So whatever they need to do, bring in a live chicken, a bucket of chicken or something, burn some incense, do what you got to do. I don't have confidence, and that's not a good thing, especially when you're a defending champion. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's cool. But I just have this feeling that it's not going to go well in the playoffs.
So missing Kucherov, you think's probably got something to do with that?
Yeah, I would say, missing Kuch is a big thing. And then, Stamkos going on the injury list too. That's a huge thing. It just doesn't. And then the goaltending's been subpar. It's not looking good. It's like almost like they're scratching at the wall, but the wall has been gnawed at too much. And they're not climbing up. It's more like they're staying in the middle of the road. You know what I mean?
I can understand that. Also, the middle of the road for the Lightning and what we consider average play from the Lightning is still above most teams in this league. So I think that's a benefit. But, Chip, you mentioned Kucherov, and he's been getting back into shape. And I know there's a lot of players that have had really positive things to say about his presence at practice and what type of kind of environment he's creating among the team, even though he hasn't even been cleared for contact drills. So he's still a little, out of the realm of coming back, but they do expect to have him back for the playoffs. So I guess, they're sitting third in the Central Division right now. So top 4 go to the playoffs. It's obviously a realignment due to COVID and everything that's going on this season. But do you think that getting Kucherov back in the playoffs is going to be enough? And obviously Stamkos will be back probably early May. May 5th is the date that they're projecting. But do you think that's going to be enough to take them past that kind of mediocre playoff performance? Or do you think they're still going to struggle?
Those are 2 leaders on that team. So, those are 2 really, and that's why I'm kind of, and this is the same, I think this is the same in a lot of sports, is that if you take a captain or you take a leader from a team, the Rays are kind of having to deal with that in a different light as far as you lose Snell and you lose Morton, and people go, well, this team is the same team. They can get back there. No, it's not the same team. You took their heart and then you took their lungs. And, those are two really big facets. The same thing with the Lightning. Cooch Stamkos is coming back hopefully before the end of the year. I think the end of the hockey season is May 8th. So, right when the season ends, but those guys bring the team up and bring the level of play up, and they know what to do in those situations to get everything to where it needs to be. So we'll see. I still think the Lightning have a good chance. They've seen enough of these teams to get things moving. So they know what they need to work on when they're playing these teams. So, it just needs to be picked up, and the environment, the emotion, everything needs to be picked up. They responded great last night. Hopefully they can continue to do that when need be.
It's almost like not having a gray pair of sunglasses, right, Kaylee?
Kind of, yeah. It's time to make your outdoor experiences better with Kaenon. Kaenon sunglasses are made exclusively with polarized lenses for optimal clarity. They're made with Japanese optics that make their lenses more clear, lighter, and stronger. And the Italian handcrafted frames are impossible to scratch. Use the exclusive code KaenonCast15 at Kaenon.com to receive 15% off your first pair. That's KAENONCAST 15, KaenonCast15. Kaenon, clearly better. Ooh, I love a pre-recorded ad read, especially today. But yes, Kaenon.
No, these are not Kaenon. These are not Kaenon. These are Walmart.
Those aren't Kaenon.
These are not.
What
Kaenon.
are those?
Walmart.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, you definitely need.
I need some Kaenon. I need some
Kaenon.
Well, no, these are. Listen, I don't wear these on a regular basis. These are like costume. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat.
420. I don't want to break anything. Let me go to get my Walmart pair of sunglasses.
So that's just your captain look. Like those are the props for your
captain
look.
I did have a pipe, but I was like, that's too much. I wouldn't be able to talk clearly in the mic with a pipe in my mouth. So
that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So still staying with the Lightning. Did you guys see about the Airbnb where you could stay in Amarillo for $5,000? Do you see that?
I saw a little bit of that, but give me the details. I did not dive in.
So it was all for charity.
Yeah.
All the $5,000 goes to the Lightning Foundation and the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay, where you get to stay in Amalie. They decked out, I think it was one of the VIP areas as an Airbnb, like bed set up. So this is what you get. You get, in addition to sleep near the Stanley Cup itself, Lord Stanley's Cup itself, the lucky winner and their friends have their own private happy hour complete with champagne and a 5-course meal. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but a 5-course meal.
So Cinco.
Cinco de Mayo's next month. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little excited. Sorry.
Yes,
my bad.
It's okay. They will also be treated to a tour of the arena, private ice time, a chance to sound the goal horn, and a movie on the Lightning Vision screen.
And riding the Zamboni, which sounds like
there's a Zamboni ride too.
Yeah, take a Zamboni ride. Look, I'm so here for this. Honestly, I would do this in a freaking heartbeat. First of all, do you know how great you would sleep next to the freaking ice? Do you know how cold and like you would be like in the blanket? Oh my gosh, it would be great.
I keep my house at like 71 at night, so imagine probably 60 something. First of all,
I keep my house at 60.
You're insane.
Wow. Insane.
I would not want to see your electric bill, but okay.
Okay, can I tell you? So me and my roommate live in a 4-bedroom house, and it's like 2,300 square feet. So it's pretty big. It's insane. But our electric bill, this house must be the most well-insulated house on the freaking planet because our electricity bill, like $150 a month. $150 a month. I'm like, wow, look at that. So you know what? I love a cold sleep. The only thing is it's hard to wake up in the morning, but I feel like if you got into this Airbnb in Amalie Arena, like I'm not doing anything the next day. I'm not getting up early. There's no alarm set. Like you can't kick me out. They also don't say like how long you get to stay the next day. Usually like for hotels, it's 11 a.m. But
11 a.m. Yeah.
They didn't include that detail.
No. I would press. I would say I'm staying till 11. No issues there. But I think the one thing I want to know, are they going to ring the the goal horn in Mighty Ducks 26. Is that the movie they're going to have to ring it in? But all the kids are coaching other hockey coaches and other players now, or what? Do they know what movie?
The new Mighty Ducks series on Disney Plus is an abomination, by the way.
Really?
Sure it is. Because you can't call them kids. They're all adults with rap sheets now.
They made the Mighty Ducks the villains pretty much of the show. Like the Mighty Ducks are now like this huge organization, competitive team, and they make this kid team like the scrappy. It's like so stupid.
Dang, that's like that's like dodgeball. Like this team. What are they called?
Yeah, the Cobras.
Yeah, you kind of like hate them.
Ugh.
But like if you wrote the movie from an entirely different perspective, from the Cobras perspective, you'd probably love the Cobras and hate the average Joes. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Just like if you flip the Karate Kid, where Danny Russo could be the villain because he comes in the town, tries to steal the girl's girlfriend, and then like instigates fights.
Exactly.
Everybody calm down. Daniel LaRusso doesn't have a mean bone in his freaking body.
The Karate Kid series on the Karate Kid Netflix series is fantastic.
Cobra Kai,
yeah, it is.
We should
not watched
start doing movie and show recs during each show.
It's cool with me. Cool with me.
I mean, I'm here for it.
We don't have much in Bucs talk until later on in the year. So I mean, we can fill that void with movie.
Yeah.
And
We definitely don't, but we are going to hit a little bit of this is like human interest, personality, Buck stuff. But one thing I saw that was fun was the Royals catcher Salvador Perez had to wear. He had a Super Bowl bet with Brett Phillips, who plays for the Rays. So essentially, he had to wear a red Tom Brady Buccaneers jersey to batting practice after last night's game. So he has this video of him saying, "Oh, you'll play it. Can you hear it?"
There we go.
Yep, I'm gonna play it right now.
Cool.
My computer's being there. We go.
Patrick Mahomes, the
best. Patrick Mahomes is the best. That's what he's saying.
That's what he said.
No, he's not. He's not the best. He's not the best. No.
Look,
and these are the pictures from that. God,
hey,
it sucks.
Always gotta love a man that pays his bets. Does what he says he's gonna do.
Yeah.
And what better way? What man to better way to do that with was with Brett Phillips? I mean, from the Rays, who's probably the nicest gentleman in the world. So
they're friends.
They are. That's true. They are friends.
Mm-hmm.
This is going way too slow. I'm going to take that off. Sorry.
There you go.
Too slow for me. Yeah.
Did everybody see? Go ahead, Kelly.
So what I loved about this is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is, I don't know if you've been paying attention to his social media. First of all, I'm going to humble brag a bit because I posted a tweet about Tom Brady for work and Tom Brady quote tweeted it. And it was the highlight of my last week. It was very exciting. And then it got a bunch of views. His quote tweet of our tweet had like 100,000 likes or something insane. I don't even know what the impression count was on it, but ours, he got us a solid like 12 million impressions. So shout out to Tom Brady. But
thanks, TB.
Yeah, thank you. The caption on the post was sometimes words speak louder than actions, talking about how he said Patrick Mahomes is the best QB. Tom came back with the no, actions always speak louder than words. So I'm loving this like Florida Tom Brady, get active on social media, reply to people, like come back with chippy comments. I'm here. I think like what was missing for 20 solid years was any ounce or detection of any sort of personality. Like his personality was like, you know how they have like the EKG on you when you're in the hospital and it's like beep, beep. Like his was just flatlined. So I think now he's got this huge personality. He's getting drunk at the boat parade. He's posting on Twitter, and it pains me to say, but I do think I might have like some sort of like something in my heart for this version of Tom Brady. I don't know what it is. But
on the heartstring.
Does your heart go pitter patter when Tom Brady comes on the screen?
Wow.
Definitely not at the look of him, but sometimes when I read his written words, I do. It is a little bit charming. I'm not gonna lie. There's something there. I see it.
I want to applaud his social media team, which is the best.
Yeah.
Like wow, those guys are on point for how much he's ever paying them. He needs to double it because those guys are on point with all of his tweets.
I wonder if he has. I know that he has like assistants and people who do and manage TB12 and all of that. But I wonder how much of the social is like him and how much of it is someone working for him. But I do feel like regardless, his personality has really blossomed. So
shown through a little bit more, maybe.
Listen, when you come down to Florida, anything happens, man. When you're coming down from stuffy Massachusetts down to, let's get wild Florida. I mean, look, you come out of your shell, man. He's the ultimate Florida man, almost.
He is.
He's gonna be dressing like me this season. That's what he is now.
Well, we did see the Buccaneers did re-sign Ryan Griffin, who was the guy who did walk in to the Super Bowl party, who helped. What's the word to say? Escort Tom Brady.
Hold him up is the key right there.
I said escort Tom Brady to the party celebration, to the podium where he was going to talk. So, good signing there. Blaine Gabbert still not signed, so he might move up to 2.
So
as QB2.
Here's a question I wanted to ask you too. Since he has been signed, Blaine Gabbert not been signed yet, could this mean the Bucs could go and draft a QB in this year's draft?
Maybe.
I mean, yeah. I think you can look at that, and I think that, and we've all had our different takes on what QB goes next. I know the guy from Stanford, Davis, they've been hearing a lot more of moving up. I think the guy that I would peg, or the guy that I would see, is Trask, already being in Florida, bigger quarterback, pro offense already. So, but I don't think you take Trask at 32.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take him at 32. No, I was about to shame you there, Chip, for saying that. But
no, I think. It'll be interesting to see. There are guys who are talking about the Stanford quarterback going towards the bottom of the first, maybe even into the second. Some of the draft buzz around him, so we'll have to see. But maybe Trask later in the draft. But I also think there's some other free agents and things coming that might shift to the Bucs better, depending upon, when TB12 decides to hang it up. And Kayla, you and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
The Bucs are kind of just shifting their fortunes right now just for this year. So if next year something happens and, this is the worst thing that could happen. If Tom Brady says I'm good, I'm going to retire, you put yourself in kind of a hole to have to deal with all that stuff next year. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But yeah, definitely looking at quarterback later in the draft. You see a guy like a Trask in the 3rd or the 4th, and you like your first picks, in the 1st and 2nd rounds. Maybe you want to take him at your 3rd. I don't see there's any problem doing that.
I mean, I read a really fantastic article about, and the title was perfect. It was like, the Bucs don't have needs in the draft; they have wishes or wants. And that's the perfect way to put it, right? Because they don't have anybody that they need. They don't need anything. They could go in and skip the draft completely and be absolutely fine for 2021. Now, looking ahead to 2022, 23, I think that all depends on how 2021 goes, right? Like, I think if they come up short, miss the Super Bowl, or lose in the Super Bowl, I think it's a pretty strong bet Tom Brady is coming back, and maybe they're restructuring some of those contracts. They're pushing that money even further down the line. They're reconfiguring what their roster looks like. But I think if they go in and they go back to back, they win another Super Bowl, then I think he's very likely probably out. And I'm just saying that in the sense of seeing where their contracts are, knowing that he's not going to last another 8-10 years. What is the point for either party, either side, to really kind of invest and put themselves in a more financially poor situation going forward when, like, the goal has been accomplished? You've done it. Like, that's back-to-back Super Bowls. What's the point? Why not look ahead to the future? You're going to have a couple of years of rebuilding, given the way that you've kind of structured these contracts. That you're probably going to have to bring up maybe a young quarterback or go out and get another veteran when they come up on the free agent market. But I don't know. I just feel like it all depends on how 2021 goes. But it is going to be fun. We're going to do, I think we decided, draft predictions and mock drafts for the Bucs next week, but I could definitely see them taking someone in the later rounds. At 32, I think we talked about this. The best thing for them to do probably is to just trade it away and get rid of it and not even worry about it, because what you're going to get for that pick is probably a lot better than, in the long term, than anything you're going to get at 32. But again, who knows? Because I mean, I think I saw some mock drafts that had them taking an edge rusher. I mean, I don't necessarily know that they need to bring someone in from the draft, but longevity wise and building for 2022, 23, maybe that is a good idea, given, what the players at those positions are probably looking at coming up in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. I think we have a Rays update. They're actually up 2-0 now. The Hurricanes have taken a 3-0 lead on the Lightning. So definitely getting worse there, unfortunately.
That's tough.
The Bucs, they definitely have kind of a good problem to have because, since they brought back everybody, it's almost like they can throw a dart at the dartboard and say, okay, this is what we can do with our draft pick, or this is what we can draft at, because, obviously, with the defense right now, you've got a couple older guys on there that they signed their 1-year deals and they're probably going to be there as long as Tom Brady's going to be there. So, you might want to draft to fill in that need when one of those guys retires, like Ndamukong Suh or JPP, if they decided to go, off into the sunset after Tom Brady leaves, or they say, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else and see if I can play when I'm 35 or whatever. Or they could go wide receiver, or they could go, O-line. It's a good problem to have, or they could trade out of 32, which we've kind of all agreed upon. Like trading out of 32 makes the most sense for their draft pick. I think the Bucs are in one of the best positions they've had in a while because they've brought everybody back, and the depth is there. They're just going to add more to it when it comes draft time. So.
Well, yeah, I think defensive line, obviously, they know they signed some guys there. Obviously, they're a little bit older. That's probably the first place I would look to go. But also, we'll see. I saw one mock draft, and I forgot who it was from ESPN, that had a guy like a Najee Harris dropping all the way to 32, which he'll never. You guys, I know you guys brought that up to me once or twice, and I was the guy going, "There's no way he makes it there." And now I thought about that today. I saw this draft today. It might have been, was it Charlie Casserly? Maybe, I think, who I saw.
Chip, didn't somebody bring that up to you drunkenly at the pool party over the weekend?
I don't know. Who was I with?
I don't know.
Oh, it was you.
No, it wasn't me. I didn't say I didn't say Najee would be here there at 32. Somebody else.
Kaylee, you guys have both said on the show, but who brought that?
Yeah, we talked about him and Travis Etienne potentially being there at 32, but I think that it only makes sense in a handful of scenarios, just given the way that like the first round draft picks are kind of moving around and trades and things. And I think this draft obviously is very heavy in quarterback talent, receiver talent. So if teams are trading up and they're really looking to kind of capitalize on those first round players in those positions, and there's a scenario that is probably super unlikely where Najee Harris ends up at 32. I don't see it happening, but it also depends, right? Like some of these teams could trade out of their spots. They could just choose to go a different direction. I think the uncertainty of the first 15 picks is really going to really direct what happens in the second half of this first round, because I think there's so much up in the air about, what teams are doing as they try to move up. I think we have an idea that we think we know what they're going to do. But as we know, sometimes drafts are unpredictable. Things change. Their priorities might not be on the inside what we view them as the outside. But I think 9 times out of 10 in these scenarios, Najee Harris is not going to last until 32.
I think the Buccaneers are praying for that, because then somebody will be coming up, whoever is behind, in that top half. I think some of those teams that are in the top half are going to take care of it because they have a lot of picks and they're not going to trade up a lot. But then one team, some other teams could definitely come up and take that pick, which the Bucs would be loving. They would love that. They would love to be sitting at 32 and have him drop, and they would field a ton of calls probably for it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And speaking of running backs, I know Richard dropped it in the comments, but have you seen this Marshawn Lynch talking to Tom Brady scenario?
I've heard a little.
I've seen it. I've seen it. He was him and Tom Brady talked last season about him coming and playing for the Bucs.
Oh, for the playoff run.
Yeah, which I don't think they needed him.
No,
he is off promoting whatever he's promoting now for his companies, and
he's got a lot going on.
He's doing a lot outside of football.
Yeah, I don't. As much as I'm sure Bucs fans would have loved to see him, beast mode. He's not beast mode anymore. He's more like light beast mode. Like he's that one transformer that transforms
he's Bud Light
halfway.
with Budweiser.
Yeah, he transforms halfway and then a limb falls off. So it would have been not fun, like for a novelty with Brady and beast mode together, but it's not beast mode like he was in Seattle. It's not like that. So
he's Michelob Ultra to your Budweiser.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Bud Ice. It's not. It's all watered down. It's like making love in a canoe. It's all watered down. It's not like that.
That's something you have experience with?
No, the captain's out like that. He has experience.
No, not from experience.
Anybody that's talking about a pipe and wearing a captain's hat and sunglasses on a podcast, he's got experience doing that.
Listen, Gilligan ain't got nothing on me. Okay. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, what a deep cut! What a deep cut! I love how we were like, "There's nothing Bucs to talk this week," and we just talked about the Bucs for like 15 minutes.
Football is football, but you know what we can do though, and I know this is a little bit like we said off the card here. There were some draft props that did come up that I thought were actually really cool, and I wanted to get you guys' take on what you thought. Now, I'm not even going to ask the one about the first player that's taken because Trevor Lawrence is the favorite out of the gate. Do we see any need? Do we think Urban Meyer goes back to his old alma mater and just snags Fields and just totally kills everybody? Nothing, right?
You'll never hear from me again.
Oh, boy. We'll have to send a search party out to Kaylee's 4-bedroom house. We kind of know where it is, so somebody get ready. So, yeah, I agree. I think this is the first time in years we could say the first overall pick is pretty set. Now, I will say this. Second pick, Zach Wilson is the favorite at minus 3,000 and Justin Fields at plus 1,200. So he's like 3-1 favorites is what you're looking at for Zach Wilson. So that's obviously a pretty big spread. What do we think? Do we like the Jets going Justin Fields or Zach Wilson? Both Kuiper and who's the younger guy? Wow, I just like the old guy.
Kirk Herbstreit.
No. Kuiper.
Not Mel Kiper. He's not young. His hair's
no,
young.
I know. I said the old guy. The young guy. Wow. Okay, we're all going to look silly for a second. Mel Kiper is saying that
Chris Mortensen?
No.
Oh, he's old.
Is saying that they're going Justin Fields.
Really?
I would have said Zach Wilson.
I would have said Zach. Here's the thing: is I think Justin Fields is clearly the second best quarterback in this draft. You will never convince me otherwise. Yeah, you'll never convince me otherwise. But I think the Jets have been so high on Zach Wilson. I think for what their skill sets are that they're apparently looking for, just from what we know on the outside, I think that's the guy that they believe is going to fill those holes. And I think with the exit of Sam Darnold, I think that reinforces that thought even more. But I think, I said this last week, I just think that Justin Fields is the guy. Like, he is the clear number 2. And I think there's a big gap between him and Trevor Lawrence, but then there's an even bigger gap between him and the 3, 4, 5 guys, right? So I think he is just so much better. But I also don't know. This is going to be such a weird quarterback draft because they're going to be drafting based off of scheme, need, and fit culturally, and that could really go either way.
And it's Todd McShay, by the way. Todd, I'm so sorry, dude. Blacked out there for a second. So I like Fields better.
Zach Wilson. I see Wilson going at 2 with the Jets, and then Fields going the 49ers. That's what I like.
Okay, I got you. So we're looking more. Okay, the third overall pick. Now get this. You have Justin Fields is the favorite. Mac Jones is second. And you have Trey Lance third. So you still have Justin Fields is projected, obviously, to be the pick at 3 if he's not taken 2. So does anybody think Mac Jones is crashing the party for the Niners at 3?
I kind of think that it's possible. And hear me out, because first of all, I love Mac Jones, Jacksonville guy. But I think that given the style of offense they're trying to play, they're very high on this kid. I think I don't know. I think it could go that way just because they really like him. They really like what he brings. I think in that offense, honestly, I could see him working very well. But I think if they're smart, they would go Fields. But I think also it depends, right? Because if the Jets go and take Fields, now you're looking at Mac Jones versus Zach Wilson, which is a very different conversation. So that's just assuming that the Jets take Zach Wilson and he's not even a problem. So you're looking at Justin Fields, Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is clear cut over Zach Wilson for them specifically. I think if you're looking at Justin Fields, there's no way I would take Mac Jones over Justin Fields. And if you traded all of that crap away that you traded to get into that number 3 spot, you want to take the top quarterback available at your draft selection. So Trevor Lawrence is gone. Whoever's gone at 2, whoever the best guy on the board is, plain and simple best guy, that's who you take. You already traded too much.
Yeah, you don't want to come out of left field with a pick that's going to probably screw you for the next 5 to 10 years. Because if you're Shanahan and you're Lynch, you're still not 100% of Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's why you're drafting possibly a quarterback for your future. So
they're 100% not Garoppolo, or they would not have traded.
Well, they've definitely come out in press conferences like he's our guy.
Yeah, he's our guy.
Crazy.
Yeah, but you wouldn't give up first-round picks for next year and everything they've given up to go where they're going.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't go out and get Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is going to fall.
Really, down into the teens.
Yeah, I think he's going to go down to the teens. I don't think he's going to be a top pick.
I like the Patriots idea for him. I think that was something that got brought up a little bit. But I think, I listened to the Athletic Football Show, and Robert Mays said it perfectly. Like, if the 49ers draft the right guy and it works out, they'll never think about the first-round draft picks they gave up or anything they gave up for this pick ever again. It'll never cross their minds. But if they pick the wrong guy and they go with the wrong selection, it'll haunt them for 5-10 years down the line, right? So I think that's kind of the thing is I could see Mac Jones falling.
But would you rather have Mac Jones or Trey Lance for the Patriots, though?
For the Patriots? I don't know. I feel like Mac Jones is a very Patriots-esque quarterback, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I don't know. I get that vibe.
I mean, Mac Jones is the highest football IQ of this entire class, hands down, I think. Highest football IQ mentally is above every quarterback that we've just mentioned.
What was his Wonderlic test?
I have no idea.
Are they still giving the Wonderlic?
Yes.
I think so, don't they? They still do.
Yeah, they still do.
Yeah.
But think of the quarterbacks that Mike Shanahan, Kyle's son, had. He has John Elway, never fleet of foot.
Yep.
Kyle Shanahan has had Garoppolo, which, he didn't get anybody he liked, but he's also had Matt Ryan, who was never a fleet of foot and highly cerebral. So I got to tell you, and all the chatter out of all the NFL sources, guys, podcasts, things we're listening to are 90% Mac Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
90% Mac Jones. So,
I think, is that just more fun to talk about? Is that more of like a hot take than just taking a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? Or is it like they really believe he's going there? Because I think it's a fun conversation to have. But at the end of the day, I think we really kind of tend to overthink what goes on in the war room. And I think at the end of the day, the big board is going to be who's the top guy there.
I think with the 49ers, they'll take a guy who has the highest ceiling as opposed to the floor, and that's why you traded so much. That's why I kind of lean towards Fields.
Yeah.
But I also think that you want a quarterback that could start right away. Mac Jones would have no problem diving into that playbook and knowing everything by midseason, I think.
Yeah.
But a guy like Justin Fields is not going to know as much as Mac Jones is going to know in that system. He's going to wing it on his talent, and the problem is your talent in college does not transform into the NFL. It is usually below par because the talent in the NFL is much better.
It's a faster game too, and you think of where he's coming from, and the SEC is probably not even arguably it is the best conference in college football. But at the end of the day, it is slower than the NFL. Everything in college football is slower than the NFL. And there are some conferences that have smaller guys that might be faster. I think when you look, like I went to UCF, I think that game is just typically faster because the guys aren't big, right? The AAC is just smaller guys. They're quicker. You've got running backs, you've got wideouts. That's kind of what is coming out of schools like that. But for the SEC, especially Alabama, you've got big guys, right? So this game is very slow coming into the NFL, which is going to be very fast. But I think Mac Jones is just, he's just smart. Like he's a guy that knows the game, probably arguably almost better than anyone there, maybe besides Trevor Lawrence, but he does charge on, Richard, charge on. But yeah, he does know the game, and he studies, and he's very smart. He's mental, and that's the game that I think Bill Belichick, the reason I say the Patriots is because a guy like Mac Jones, who studies the game, knows the game, and is a really mentally sound player and really knows the football and has the football IQ, is someone Bill Belichick would probably love.
I got two landing spots for Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
One is the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
They're at 9. Okay.
Started out of the gate there.
John Elway has not had his greatest history by drafting quarterbacks, by the way.
Yeah.
He's stuck to free agency.
Ever since Peyton Manning, it's been just downhill.
He's hands off now, though.
Is he?
Is
he hands off now?
He's hands off, supposedly.
I'm sure he's got a little bit of say-so, though.
I have no doubt it's John Elway.
And then I've got one that's completely out of left field that will probably shock you and probably will make you throw things at the screen. The Raiders.
I don't hate that.
Okay. Because, Gruden's he's not really sold on either one of them, Carr or Mariota. And why not draft it? Listen, Gruden's in year 4 of his 10-year contract with the Raiders?
Oh, he's ownership too. So he's not going.
So why not, get a quarterback that you want and say sayonara to one of them in a trade and draft Mac Jones, who could be your guy for the future.
I wouldn't be mad about it.
I wouldn't be mad about it. I don't think Mac Jones he won't get past the Redskins or the Bears.
The Washington football team or the Bears.
Okay.
That's what I think he probably.
Yeah.
I see Washington taking him because of now.
I can see that.
By the way.
Yeah, I can see that.
I see that as well.
Okay. I like the Raiders. I do feel like, though, he would be. And I think so much of quarterbacks that come out of the draft and are very young, and we're going to see, this is going to be like probably the truest test we have in a long time, because this is the most robust quarterback class that I can remember in recent drafts. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they all end up in 1, 2, 3 years. I mean, we know we obviously had the Joshes, Sam Darnold, we had that whole group as well that really kind of, now we're seeing where they are. But this one will be interesting because I think where they end up first is going to have a huge impact. And the Raiders, to me, just seem like a team that won't succeed there, if that makes sense. I don't hate it for him in the sense of that makes sense. I like you said, they're not sold. I think they were kind of in the Deshaun Watson market. Maybe they were only willing to give up things for a proven guy like Deshaun Watson. But, if someone slips and goes down to where that they can get him, I think you're looking at, potentially bringing in a quarterback. But I do think that would kind of, I don't know. I just don't trust that team and that coaching staff to really develop a solid quarterback. And we might find him in more of a Sam Darnold position.
Oof.
I know.
Yeah. Which could happen. So what do we think? Here are some over-unders for draft position. So Kyle Pitts, over, under, it's 5.5, obviously. So they split. So you either think he's going to be 6 or you either think he's going to be 4.
4. He's going to your Falcons.
4, yeah.
I think he's probably going there too. So Trey Lance, they're saying over under 6.5. So that means he's either going to be, which I mean, there could be a trade into 5, which is the Bengals. So you probably look at Denver trading up to get him. Or like we said, you still got the Redskins, you got the Bears, you got some other teams that are down there.
Yeah.
I say over.
I'm going to go over.
Yeah, over.
Yeah, but he's kind of fallen by the wayside in conversations. I think his pro day was obviously very impressive, but since then he's been kind of quiet. So,
And actually, let me back up. The Vegas Raiders, Evan, are actually before Washington. They're at 17, Washington 19,
yeah.
the Raiders are at
See?
20.
I'm just
So I
saying.
apologize for that. I thought it was different. My bad.
Just saying. It might come out of nowhere.
Hey, that could be good. Now, this is one that I laugh at, and I can't believe Vegas is offering this one because we all might hop on this one. Najee Harris draft position over under 29.5.
wow.
Wow. That's
Wow. So who's sitting there?
Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something here.
Somebody knows something. Yeah. Green Bay or Buffalo, essentially, sitting in that 29 and 30 spot.
Yeah,
That's
which is
wild.
Buffalo.
that'd be nuts.
Buffalo would be a great spot.
Oh,
They're just a running back away.
They are.
Oh.
They're
There's
one piece away, and that's the perfect piece.
that would be. Oh, I'd have to go Bills. Oh man, I'd hop on
have
the
to jump.
bandwagon.
I'd have to jump through a table for that one.
Honestly, I'm so on board with whatever the Bills got going on. I would love
Yep.
that for them.
I would love that as well. So right now, Najee Harris is odds on favorite to be the first running back drafted. Wow, if they're not saying he's drafted till 29.5,
That's crazy.
I don't see an over under for Travis Etienne, but wow, that's crazy. So that means they're saying he dips into the second round, which I know a lot of teams have a first round grade on him. So that would be interesting. But so we think the first non-quarterback drafted probably going to be Kyle Pitts. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So first wide receiver drafted Jamar Chase minus 600, Devontae Smith plus Jalen Waddle plus 700, Rashad Bateman's plus 4,000. Never happened. So Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. What do you guys think? Who's the first wide receiver off the board?
Chase and Waddle.
Everybody likes Chase.
Chase, Waddle, then Smith.
Yeah. It
I
should
think
be
the team.
Smith first, in my opinion, but I don't
I
think.
got to tell you, I saw this today on ESPN and I laughed, but now that I'm looking at it, I really like it. Arizona Cardinals have been full in all year this offseason, making this team the best they can be, trying to find a way to shut the door. Tell me this, riddle me this. What do you think about the Arizona Cardinals going up to 7, where Detroit is, and taking a Jalen Waddle? Detroit goes backwards because he's the first wide receiver potentially off the board. He would be, I think, at 7 because Penei Sewell, I think, goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. They got to protect their ACL injured quarterback. What do you think? Jalen Waddle, Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk.
No,
Wow.
I don't like that because the Cardinals need more help on the offensive line side than anything.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
And actually, that was Peter Strager, by the way. Happy birthday, Peter.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I think
right.
it is just that's too much. They'd be giving up way too much probably for a move that wouldn't necessarily put them over the edge. Like I think they're doing things to put themselves on track for where they want to be, but I don't know that that would move the needle enough to justify what they would have to give up.
I agree.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I agree.
I mean, I could be totally wrong, but that would just seem so risky to me because that move is going to cost them.
That's true.
And they got other areas to plug in besides wide receiver.
Handful. Yeah, a handful.
That's true. Well, we'll have to see. Like we said, the draft by this time next week will be 48 hours away. Pure excitement. Are we going to do a show? Maybe we should.
Let's do it, man.
I'll
wear my captain's hat again. It's cool with me.
There you go. I mean, that's enough for me to join.
All right.
You don't have to, ask me not to join because of that. I'm in.
It's like chasing lions in the Great Plains.
Oh my God.
You see a flying saucer come down, just look at you and say, "Hey, buddy, just come with me right now," and then we'll be all fine with Hershey kisses. And
I don't know where we've gone.
I know where I'm going with it either.
This is that accent is a little uncomfy.
I was doing my best Matthew McConaughey. I'm sorry.
The wrinkled shirts at the bottom of the hamper, uncomfy. Yeah. It's not good.
I do. I love a Matthew McConaughey. I'm here for it.
Driving my Lincoln just down there in the seas of the world, just looking.
I'm gonna move to Texas like a week before the election, just so I can vote for Matthew McConaughey and be like, I'm coming back.
if Arnold Schwarzenegger can be the governor of California, then Matthew McConaughey can be the governor of Texas.
He can, and he's a big
All
sports.
right, all right, all right.
He wasn't he like the brand ambassador for Texas?
He
The
was.
Minister of
He is.
Culture. He's the Minister of Culture for
Yeah,
that's
Youth
what
and
it is.
Athletics. He's now a co-owner of Austin FC as well as the Minister of Culture there. So he's very hands-on in his sports investments. So
He's got a great YouTube channel too.
he does. He
So
speaks on some real truths, some real problems that this great state of Texas.
All he needs to do is move to Florida. He'd be the ultimate Florida man.
He would be, but oh my gosh, he could just, you know what? I don't know how much good he could do in Florida, but he has a real opportunity in Texas to make that state something.
I agree with that. Rays have pushed their lead to 5-0.
I know.
So,
Hey, it's 420. They're rolling. They're rolling.
They're doing good things. We won't even talk about the Lightning because holy cow.
all right, we won't talk about it. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we close out?
May you have clear skies on the rest of this day. That's all I got. That's all I got.
No, wrap it up, everybody. Drafts right around the corner, and the Rays just keep going forward. Hockey's coming to an end. We'll see what happens.
Kaylee, you got anything before we roll on out of here?
No.
Okay.
Nothing. But tune in next week. We'll have mock drafts for the Bucs. It'll be a good show. And then thank you guys for tuning in the comments. This was fun. I like when we have an active comment section. Makes things
Active audience, always good.
Yeah, way more interesting. But make sure to follow us everywhere. Play the Bay TB, and we will catch you guys next Tuesday. Bye.
On the flippity flop.
Yeah.
Go Rays.
Thanks for listening to Play the Bay. We'll be back again with another episode on the Believe Podcasting Network. If interested in advertising, please contact Believe.com.